A Canadian artist named Trevor Henderson has created beings that seem to crawl straight out of real nightmares. These aren't fairy tales. They aren't children's stories. They break the rules of our reality. And maybe, right now, something is waiting in the dark. Tonight, we cover 8 of the most dangerous ones. 1. Siren Head. A group of hikers were passing through a remote forest when they heard emergency sirens. At first, they thought there'd been an accident nearby. Maybe a car crash, maybe someone trapped. They moved toward the sound. The trees were tall, the fog was thick, but the sound was clear. Then one of them saw something through the trees, something taller than the trees themselves. 2 rusted sirens, mounted on a dry, mummified torso. No eyes, no ears, but it knew they were there. That night, of the 4-person group, only one was found, wandering alone on a road with no memory of what happened. Siren Head is an approximately 40-foot-tall entity with a body resembling dried, mummified flesh and 2 large industrial sirens in place of a head. Those sirens can mimic human voices, emergency broadcasts, and even the voices of the victim's loved ones to lure them in. Trevor Henderson confirmed that Siren Head is not of this reality. It's a multi-dimensional being, and the only one of its kind. On Henderson's danger tier list, it sits in the too late category. To survive, never walk toward siren sounds in a forest. If the sound feels wrong or seems to come from above, run. If you hear voices of people you know coming from the tree line, it's already too late. 2. Cartoon Cat. 2 college students went into an abandoned shopping mall one night to film a short video. The building was old, lights were out. Only their phone flashlights lit the way. Then they saw something, what looked like a large, cartoonish cat statue in the corner. At first they laughed. Then the statue turned its head. Its teeth looked human, but far too many of them. When its smile opened, it never seemed to end. That night, only a camera was recovered. The students were never found. Cartoon Cat is a cosmic entity shaped like a 1930s rubber hose cartoon character. Pitch black, infinitely elastic, with wide eyes. But beneath that familiar shape is an ancient terror that even Henderson's other creatures flee from. Trevor Henderson placed Cartoon Cat in the too late tier, the most dangerous classification he has. Even the man with the upside-down face avoids Cartoon Cat's territory. To survive, stay away from abandoned buildings at night. If you see something that looks like a cartoon but feels wrong, don't look, don't ask, run. Never assume it's playing with you. 3. Long Horse. A mother was looking out her bedroom window late at night when she saw something strange. A neck, impossibly long, descending from between the clouds. The head at the end looked like a horse's skull, but its expression was calm. It stared at her. She stared back. Then she felt a strong, sudden urge to leave the house. 10 minutes later, a gas pipe inside exploded. She survived. Long Horse is one of the few benevolent creatures in Henderson's world. It means no harm. Its neck is infinitely long, passing through multiple dimensions simultaneously. It appears before disasters, accidents, fires, earthquakes, to warn humans. Trevor Henderson has said Long Horse wants to help, though its appearance may cause fear. If you see Long Horse, don't panic, don't run. Assess your surroundings. Is there danger nearby? It may be trying to save you. 4. Bridgeworm. A photographer named Thomas Persing was shooting photos under an old bridge. He thought he saw something strange hanging beneath the structure. A mask, maybe, or a sculpture of a human face. He moved closer. It looked fascinating. He raised his camera. The last photo ever found showed the creature's real face, fleshy, muscular, lined with teeth, and ready to feed. Thomas was never found. Bridgeworm is a predatory entity that hides beneath overpasses and bridges. It has a false face, a human-like mask of skin used to lure the curious close. But its real face is a wide, flesh-lined jaw filled with teeth. On Henderson's danger tier list, it sits in the run category. The older the bridgeworm, the more defined the markings on its false face become. More exposure to humans, more practice at the hunt. To survive, never go under old bridges alone, especially at night. If you see something that looks like a human face under a bridge, run. Do not approach. Curiosity kills here. 5. The man with the upside-down face. A family was taking photos on a road trip. Everything looked fine in the moment. Open road, sunlight, trees. When they got the photos printed, they noticed something. In the last photo, standing beside the road behind their car, was a man in a suit, but his face was inverted. Eyes at the bottom, mouth at the top. They later found out that a fatal car accident had happened on that same road that same day. The man with the upside-down face is a metaphysical entity, not a physical predator. He feeds on negative emotions, grief, terror, misery, and pain. He appears at the scenes of tragic deaths, car wrecks, fires, murders, and wherever Henderson's other creatures have claimed victims. When feeding, he is invisible to the human eye, only appearing in photographs after the fact. Trevor Henderson called him the patron saint of car wrecks, natural disasters, misery, and bloody pavement. To survive, you can't choose to avoid him. He chooses where to be. If you see him in a photograph, something terrible has already happened. 6. The Smile Room. A group of kids were cutting through an old abandoned school. They found a door they didn't recognize. Behind it was a small room. White walls, strangely bright, but the walls had something on them. A texture, a pattern. When they stepped closer, they realized the walls had teeth, a wide smile carved into the wall itself, and it was opening. Later, only one of them was found. They said there had just been a door. No room. There never was a room. The smile room is a predatory entity disguised as an ordinary door. Behind the door is a small chamber lined with sharp teeth. When a victim enters, the door shuts, and the room begins to consume them. It appears most often in schools, office buildings, and old abandoned structures. To survive, if you see a door that wasn't there before, do not open it. If there's no sound from the other side, and something feels wrong, leave immediately. Curiosity kills here too. 7. God of Roadkill. A truck driver was moving through a quiet highway late at night. Fog everywhere. Road completely empty. He saw something in the middle of the lane. What looked like a sculpture made of bones. Small ones, large ones, animal and human. He stopped. He got out. When he walked closer, he realized the sculpture was breathing. It raised its head. After that, he remembered nothing. His truck was found the next morning. Empty. Engine still running. The God of Roadkill is a deity-like entity constructed from bones and debris found on desolate roads. It appears on empty highways at night, sitting motionless until noticed. Trevor Henderson described it as the patron saint of dark places, of hungry life, of spotless bones. Its exact nature remains unclear. Predator, guardian, or something else entirely. To survive, don't stop on empty highways at night. If you see something in the road that doesn't look natural, drive past it. Don't look. Don't stop. 8. The Giants. A small film crew was shooting footage in a coastal town. Overcast sky, everything normal. Then one of them spotted something through the viewfinder. A leg, larger than any building, descending slowly from the clouds. Then another. They were so massive they made no sound. The ground vibrated. The camera dropped. The next shot was an empty street. The Giants are cosmic-scale entities whose full size the human mind cannot process. Some stand several kilometers tall. They are often obscured by fog, cloud cover, or darkness. Not as camouflage, but because their bodies don't fully fit within this dimension. Henderson has created multiple types of giants, some indifferent to humans, some not, to survive. If the ground shakes with no earthquake, run. If clouds form unnatural shapes and you hear deep structural sounds, run. If you see them clearly, it doesn't matter anymore. These creatures were created by Trevor Henderson, but the reason they resonate is that they feel possible. Maybe that thing you saw last night in the dark wasn't a shadow. Maybe that sound behind the wall wasn't the wind. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments which creature you want covered next. Stay safe.